What up, guys? It's your boy Ty. Welcome back, and today we have the first episode of my brand new series, Swag or Swarm with All Guns, and we're kicking things off with a boom with some badass music courtesy of NCM or non-copyrighted media. You can go ahead and check them out. All their links and stuff will be in the description, link to the song, link to the channel, etc. So, kicking the series off with the first weapon in the submachine gun class, and that is the MP7. We're going to go ahead and break down the class setup. So as you guys can see down in the bottom left, there is the MP7. I'm using the wild cards, perk 2 greed, and then primary gunfighter. The primary gunfighter attachments that I'm using is FMJ, fast mags, and the suppressor. And then my perks are perk 1 lightweight, perk 2 greed for scavenger and toughness, and then perk 3 for awareness. And if you guys look down in the bottom right, you will see my score streaks. First is the Lodestar, followed by the VTOL Warship, and then I final out this gameplay with the Swarm. And that is going to be it for my class setup. And now we're going to go ahead and get into my play style, how I choose to play this class, why I chose the score streaks I chose, the weapon attachments I chose, and stuff like that. Alright, so let's start with the score streaks for this game. Now, typically whenever I play for a Swarm gameplay, I usually use the Orbital VSAT, Dogs, and Swarm. And the reason I usually run with those kill streaks are because 9 times out of 10 when I'm playing Black Ops 2, I'm not using a suppressed weapon. Now, I was this game, but what I mean by that is obviously whenever you're not using a suppressed weapon in Call of Duty, you're going to pop up on the radar when you shoot. And this creates a sort of mind game scenario where you can kind of toy with your enemies. If you have an orbital VSAT in the air, they know it, but give it 10 seconds and they're going to forget about it. And what you can do is you can shoot your weapon unsuppressed, and it's going to boost the enemy's confidence. They're going to run in that doorway. They're going to jump that corner. They're going to think they have the drop on you because you popped up on their radar one time, and you're going to blow them away. And so running with an unsuppressed weapon with a VSAT means that more often than not, your enemies are going to run straight into the wrath of your VSAT and your right trigger. So anyways, back to the actual video. Running with a suppressor. When you're playing without the VSAT, you need that suppressor to stay alive longer. You need that suppressor to kind of be your go-to guy to keep you alive. If you have an unsuppressed weapon and you're not running the VSAT, it's going to be very difficult to stay alive longer. So, back on topic. In the fact that I'm using the suppressor, I need that suppressor to stay alive so I can wrap up these higher kill streaks such as the Lodestar, the VTOL, and the Swarm. And that also leads me into, since we're talking about suppressors, obviously that leads me into my weapon. And I want to talk about why I'm using the attachments that I'm using. So obviously early on in the video I talked about the primary gunfighter wild card that I'm using, and that I'm using fast mags, FMJ, and a suppressor. Now, as I've already stated many times in this video why I'm using the suppressor, I haven't stated why I'm using anything else. The fast mags is obviously because you're going to be swapping out clips at a very high rate if you're putting together nice kill streaks. And it's always helpful to know that you can rely on flipping your magazine really fast and not having to worry about a slow reload at a very crucial time to run your streak. So I definitely recommend fast mags or extended mags in a scenario like this. And as for FMJ, just the damage boost. It really helps because the suppressor seems like oftentimes when you use a suppressor on your weapons in Black Ops 2, it seems like your damage gets dropped. I know in other Call of Duties it definitely does it. It has a damage drop off and your bullets aren't as effective, but combining that with FMJ just provides your weapon with a whole lot more punch, and it actually puts people down a lot quicker than it does without FMJ. And obviously when you're putting together these higher kill streaks and you have a lot more people in front of you, you're going to need that FMJ to get rid of people and knock down groups of people without running your streaks. Alright, so you guys can probably tell that the game is coming to a closing. It's 100 points to win, and we got 93 on the scoreboard. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this commentary up. Once again, this is the first episode of my swag series, or Swarm with All Guns. The episode 1, MP7. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, you guys can check out non-copyrighted media for all your music needs. Just make sure that they don't get upset that I use their song. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later. Peace.